guess what's in this cup? Guess what? It's not coffee. It's not tea. Take a second. What do you think it is? Throw out some guesses. It's limeade. It's limeade. Lime flavored limeade, or is limeade just limeade? Is the default flavor of limeade lime? The cup says The Boss. I bought this at was it dog hair on here? I bought this at a store because it was really big. And I am the boss. Welcome back to another episode of the series I like to call Never Have I Ever. Now, usually I do these in my car, and it's usually because I'm on my way to a fast food place, a restaurant, a drive-thru to try things off a menu that I usually avoid, that I don't think I like. The ingredients don't seem to mix with my taste palette. But we're changing it up, and there's been a couple factors because of that. One, it snowed here about a foot where I am, and when I thought of this idea, it was currently snowing. We were in the middle of a snowstorm, and I said, okay, definitely not going to leave and go sit in my car. Today that I'm filming, it's negative 9-ish degrees. I, again, don't want to go sit in my car. Third, I've been sick the past week. So, again, don't want to go sit in my car. So I came up with the next best idea. Today for Never Have I Ever, we are going to deep dive into my pantry and try things that have been sitting there for years. I don't even know who bought it. How did it get in there? Is that even edible? How did it get in the food pantry if we're not even supposed to eat it? And then I thought, why stop there? Might as well take a little trip down to the big freezer. Because there's stuff in there that I just avoid altogether. I don't even take it out. It's frozen to the shelf. I don't bother with it. I need an ice pick and a chisel. So with that, let's go to my pantry. Welcome to my pantry. We'll get into it. You guys know I like to do fun facts at the beginning of these videos. Usually I do the fun facts on companies, corporations, and, you know, I could give you the dimensions of the pantry and the color of the trim and the make of the wood, but I thought we would just go through the history of what is a pantry. In the simplest definition, a pantry is just a closet or cupboard where stuff is stored. Okay, food, spices, extra dishes, whatever. So like back in the medieval times, the name pantry, because it used to be a place where they used to store bread, and the word pantry derives from the word pain, but like it's the French word pain. I know I'm not saying it right. And pain is the French word for bread, but it's also like the Latin word for bread is close to it, and isn't bread in Spanish pan? So like it was originally where you put bread. We don't keep any bread in the pantry. In the 20th century, refrigeration and storage was improved, as well as breakfast nooks in houses. So pantries kind of became obsolete in one sense, but then in another sense, during the World Wars, a lot more people were doing canning to preserve food and, you know, have like a storage of food. So then at the same time, people use pantries for that, for like canning. My mom cans green beans and she puts them in here. Nowadays, pantries are very common, okay? And most people, when they like remodel a house, they want like a big walk-in pantry. They want lots of storage space. So yeah, do you guys have pantries? Like, do you have a big one, a small one, a walk-in? Do you just have like a cupboard as your pantry? You know, where are you keeping your spices and your snacks and your whatnot? Like, are you standing in yours right now? Maybe watching this video on your phone, avoiding your family? Are you hiding in the pantry? Are you like eating a bag of cookies in the pantry in the middle of the night, phones up against here, you're just shoving little cookie crisps in your mouth? I'm not judging. I'm just asking you of a pantry. If we had a walk-in pantry, you know I would be standing in there all the time, just thinking about stuff. Emily Dickinson used to write poems in her pantry. Mark Twain used to write about pantries. Ours aren't really pantries. I think of them as closets, but really essentially a pantry can be a closet. So these are just like two closets in our kitchen. But I'm trying to think if my mom was ever like, where'd you get the ramen? She's like, it's in the pantry. She might say it's in the pantry. In case anyone's wondering how mine is organized, this is where we keep all our canned goods. This is where we keep side dishes like noodles or ramen or, you know, soups. Up top is more the baking and the desserts. This is a full spice rack. Bottom is recycling and like napkins and like any extra big bags of chips or like anything bulky, we just put it on the ground. She also has an onion sitting in here. I don't think I ever realized that she puts onions in the closet. This side of the pantry, we got liquor up top. There's no sneaky way to get to the liquor. Okay, you gotta get on a little step stool, climb up here, grab yourself some rum. This is again just extra stuff. Then this is a lot of like a drink closet, and then I just noticed that she keeps extra bags and tinfoil at the bottom. Riley's dog food is in here, and there is a safe in the back. There's a safe back here, but don't you think you're coming to my house and you're gonna break into my? We don't use that safe. I don't know why there's a safe in the closet. I don't know if the house was built with a safe. It's built into the wall. It is very intriguing if you think about it. It's only like 1.5 inches deep. I mean, I've never even thought to put anything in there, even as a joke. That is a video for another day, honestly. If you have anything weird in your pantry like that, like not weird, but like something other than the norm, like a safe built into the wall, maybe don't comment it down below, but a little wink in the comments. I got some in my pantry you guys might want to see. You're just storing $1 million behind the tomato soup. I don't know. We have a can crusher. Put your can in there. Wow! Crushed it. Gone. 3 spice packages that don't look like anything else. So I pulled one out, and they're by the company Durkee. Durkee. I don't know if that's Durkee or Durkee. I don't know. There's turmeric. There's curry powder, and there's thyme. Thyme? It's thyme. I offhandedly called my mom and I said, how old are these spices in here? Because why do they look so different than anything else? Since when do they put spices in like tins like that? I don't really see that a lot in people's pantries. And she said something along the lines of like, I don't really use those spices a lot, so I just use a little bit of them. So I have these tins. They're probably from like a while ago, like 5 or 6 years. This company, Durkee Spices, they stopped using tin cans in the 80s. In the 80s, people were selling them on Etsy as antiques, as novelty items. They're sitting in our pantry. We're still using them. She's like, oh, you know, spices, they kind of like lose their potency over time. And I was like, it has been 43 years. But again, I'm not judging you about what you do in your pantry. You're not judging me about what I keep in my pantry and how old it is. And if you just scoot right over here, yeah, that's going to be the freezer. That's where we're going next. See you in there. It's a bit of a tight squeeze in here. Oh my, the lighting! Should I close the door? I just feel like we should a little more intimate if I... Hold on, watch out. Okay. Welcome to our... Welcome to the freezer. That's probably... Oh, what did I just press? No! What did I... -4. Why stop at a pantry? Let's also dig into some food that's been sitting in our freezer. Who knows how long? Things get lost in the freezer. They go in there, they don't come out. Having an extra fridge, like a standalone extra fridge, especially in your garage, is a very Midwest thing. They always have like an extra fridge in the garage full of booze and beer and drinks and random stuff, probably some cheese curds. A lot of people have extra freezers, a chest freezer, which is the ones that open up from the top, called so because it's like open, it's like a treasure chest in their basements or their garage to store extra stuff in. Our fridge is like a half fridge, half freezer. In this house, we just call this one the big freezer. Where did you get that? Oh yeah, there should be some chicken in the big freezer. Modern day fridges were available in 1927. Before that, they had ice boxes. You'd have to replace and put in a block of ice until it melted to keep your food cold. How much less random stuff would you have in your freezer if you had to replace an ice block every single time and then pack it back in? They even have like iced harvest festivals, so you can have ice for your ice box. Times are changing, times are different. 1755, a Scottish professor, William Cullen, did an experiment using gases and a vacuum method where he like sucked the heat out of this contained box, and that's how it's done. But it wasn't like sustainable. The way that he did it back in the day, back in 1755, you had to have someone on that. Someone had to be constantly doing this vacuum method, and what are you gonna put the middle child on, you know, refrigerator gas duty? I don't think so. The history of like refrigerators, refrigeration, and freezers is muddled, okay? There are different dates and names going forward. They're all over the place. Was advancement in refrigeration 1857 with some guy named James, or maybe it was 1834 with Jacob. It might have been him, you know, invented by Swedish students, because I saw an article about that. Or maybe it was a doctor figured out refrigeration. Again, it's very muddled, it's very complicated. These are rough dates. 1914, an electric refrigeration unit was created. There we go, electricity. 1918, the Kelvinator company, they had an automatic control for their refrigerators, freezers. It was advanced. Back in the day, when they started refrigeration, freezers trying to figure out how to keep stuff cold, they used to use liquid ammonia and sulfur dioxide to cool the air. But then they figured out, soon realized, ammonia is very deadly. We shouldn't be using it for that purpose. We cannot put the liquid ammonia to keep the chicken cold for dinner. Then they used Freon, which, you know, killed the ozone layer, which they soon discovered. And they're like, okay, we gotta nix the Freon. Nowadays, they use a 1112-tetrafluoroethane. That's what keeps your freezer running, working, keeps things cold. It's a chemical or a reaction, or it's a compound fracture of an element. I don't know. That's just what it's called. Sounds familiar? Sounds about right. Basically, in the 1940s is when home freezers became common practice. People had them. They were around. You know, it wasn't strange. I'm sure like rich people had them, but it wasn't like, oh my, what's that white contraption box in your basement? Is that like a new casket thing? No, keeps my Hot Pockets cold. But, you know, or a body, but we're not even gonna touch the fact that people put bodies in freezers. Can't go there. No, this one's, I couldn't even fit in here. My head would have to go in a different shelf. So yeah, what's the oldest thing in your freezer? I know sometimes when people get married, they take a slice of wedding cake, put it in their freezer, and they have it on like their first anniversary. Maybe that's an old thing. You have like an unidentified frostbitten meat, perhaps, in your freezer that you're not even really sure how it got in there. So yeah, that's the history of the freezers. So there I am, coming up with this brilliant idea. We'll stay home. We'll look for the food in our own kitchen pantry. We'll expose ourselves. My mom cleans out the pantry and the freezer pretty regularly. I feel like twice a year she'll go through and she'll throw out a bunch of stuff. So, you know, I did what I could do. I found the most uneaten items. The most like, what is this? Did you have a purpose for this? Or because I don't. Items that have a history, but really no place in that pantry. So that's what we're working with today. The first item in the pantry we have hailing from the baked goods dessert section is Betty Crocker Muffin Tops. Chocolate chip, to be exact. This is not something we would typically have in our pantry. As far as baked goods, we usually just have like brownies or maybe a cake mix. We don't do a lot of baking around here besides my videos. These were bought for a video. These expired, best if used by March 29th, 2023. They're not that old. I highly doubt this mix really goes old. When I was doing the can't see, can't hear, can't talk challenge with the boys, Steven and Jerry, I had bought several different things that we could have baked. One of them was these muffin tops because they weren't just regular cupcakes or regular cookies. They were muffin tops. I thought they would be a little harder, but the ingredients are too simple. Throw the mix into a bowl, you add water, you add oil, you add an egg. It was too easy, so we ended up not using it, but that means that no one in the house has ever used it. So I made it today. I didn't make them the prettiest I could have made them, but here we go. These are the muffin tops. Ooh, the chocolate part smells good. The muffin is the best top. The top is the best part of the muffin. I think we can all agree on that. I did burn the bottoms. Oh, I burned them to a crisp. I put them in for like the exact amount of time you needed to. Still burnt them. Took my eye off them 2 seconds. But they're just supposed to taste like the top of the muffins. Wow, it really does. Besides being burnt. How do you just make the tops of the muffin? Is it just regular muffin mix, but the fact that you're not putting them into like a metal indented tin to make the bottoms? If you just put them on a flat cookie sheet, then you always get the muffin tops. People who are bakers, let me know. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! Yes, I know the Muffin Man that lives on Drury Lane. Well, she's married to the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! I don't suggest chasing your muffin tops with limeade. Not my gumdrop buttons! I just feel like the bottom part of the muffin is the moist part. The top is always like the crispy, crumbly, crunchy, like in a good way, but it's always drier. I don't know, Betty Crocker, I'll give them like a 7 out of 10. You're not wowing me. On easiness of baking, besides burning it, I give them a 10 out of 10, but on the scale of how good they are, I don't know, 7 out of 10. Wouldn't buy them again. I don't really care. Hailing all the way from the can section of our pantry is Campbell's Fiesta Nacho Cheese. I don't know why this was bought. I don't know how it got in there. Thanks for asking. Look at that. I wish I would have recorded this coming out of the can because it like came out in the shape of a can and then it just like the definition of slime just expanded. Nacho cheese out of a can is not weird. They get those huge fat short cans that they have at like a school cafeteria. My mom bought this and then just never has reached for it. She has jars of cheese, like the normal cheese that we used to make nachos. I don't know why she bought this. I just think it's weird that it's Campbell's. They have soup instructions on the back. It says mix soup with 1 can of milk. Campbell's, are we treating the nacho cheese like soup? And then if we are, that's fine, but put a little disclaimer. You could really treat nacho cheese like a can of soup. Great to know. And on the side of the can, they have a whole recipe for chicken nacho tacos. You know, you just need this can, plus onions, chili powder, vegetable oil, chunky chicken breast, taco shells, lettuce, tomatoes. But, you know, most importantly, you need the nacho cheese out of this can from Campbell's. I felt like she accidentally bought this or bought this for like a different recipe, and we never used it. Because it expired in October of 2022. So I made it in this bowl! And hell yeah, I'm using my little bowl hot pads I made from the last video. And if you haven't watched that video, you should watch that video. But I leave this in my office, so I was just walking around my house with a hot bowl of nacho cheese. I was like, oh, oh. I was gripping it so hard as I was gonna crush the bowl. Like the audacity of Campbell's to think that they could do nacho cheese. But let's have them prove me wrong. And I did put milk in this. I didn't put a whole can of milk, like it said, like we're treating it like soup. I just put a little bit of milk in it. It's got like little bits of like spices or chunks of tomato in here. I don't know. Peppers. Consistency's okay. No. No, it tastes like they... It tastes like they tried to soupify nacho cheese. Fiesta nacho cheese. What is the fiesta part? Because there's not a party in my mouth. The spices are off. It's not even bland. It's just like off. It almost has like a can-like taste. I'm not saying it tastes like a can, but if I was blind taste testing a bunch of nacho cheeses and they're like, guess which one of these was in a can, I would say this one. It has like a canness to it. This is the type of cheese someone would use in your office when you go, hey, the office is going to do a potluck. Everyone's got to bring something. Let's go ask Carl, who I've never seen pick up a spatula. Probably doesn't know how to bake, cook, make toast, whatever. Let's go ask him what he's going to bring to the potluck. And he goes, I'm going to bring nachos. Chicken nacho tacos. If you do, you should go use this brand. I love this brand of nacho cheese. He goes, no, I got it covered. I got Campbell's. I'm sorry, what? Call HR before this boy even picks up a can opener. How dare you put Fiesta on here? Fiesta nacho cheese? None of this was a party. The only fiesta or party about this whole thing was putting my homemade bowl microwavable koozie on the bowl holding your nacho cheese. Great for cooking. Yeah, if you're gonna mask all the flavors of it into something else. Questions or comments? Call Campbell's. Oh! I'm sure they never get calls about the Fiesta nacho cheese because no one's buying it. I did not like that. Easy to make? 10 out of 10. Presentation? I'm gonna say 7 out of 10 because I did not like how it looked mush and gush out of the can. Taste? 2. I don't like this. In the big freezer, as we like to call it, something I've been avoiding for months right in front of my face would be the Lean Cuisine Protein Kick Chicken Club Sandwich. My first problem right here on the front would be, I don't know, the false advertising. Does this not show a sandwich? 1 piece of bread, 2 pieces of bread, 3 pieces of bread, 4. Because when you pull it out of the package, it looks like this. That would be, you'd put those slices together and that would make a sandwich. White meat chicken with bacon, tomatoes, cheese, and ranch-style sauce on a bread. Now that I've cooked it, you just pop this monstrosity for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Where is the ranch-style sauce? Saw how it went in, and that's how it came out. Damn near the same. The cheese really didn't even melt. Where's the ranch sauce? Hiding under the microwaved bread. It smells okay. I used to like Lean Cuisine. Lean Cuisine had a mac and cheese and had a sesame chicken I really liked. But sometimes the chicken and the meat in the Lean Cuisine is hit or miss. So I've moved away from them. I know people enjoy these. My mom bought this thinking that someone would eat it for lunch. We've all been avoiding it. I don't want your microwaved bread on your microwaved chicken. Oh! There's like a weird frost on the bottom of the bread. Can we see right here? The bread is wet because that's like the freezer burnt part. That bite was just bread. The supposed tomatoes, cheese, and ranch sauce tasted like the crust of like really bad cafeteria pizza. The tomatoes taste okay. How does the meat taste? If I eat leftover meat of any kind, I usually just eat it cold. It just tastes like really nothing. Crust of the bread is like stiff and hard. This is probably what Carl eats for lunch. Mr. Potluck Carl bringing the Fiesta Nacho Cheese is probably eating the damn half a sandwich Lean Cuisine. The only flavor I'm getting is the tomatoes. Everything else is just mush and gush. The chicken has no flavor besides microwave. The ranch sauce had maybe evaporated because it's gone. And the cheese is like a weird clumpy paste. I could see people liking this. I don't. I can see why everyone's been avoiding it in the house. And I can see why she hasn't bought it again. My mom bought it and she doesn't even eat it. Okay. See, the end piece is like as hard as a crouton. Anybody in the office want the other half of my bacon, chicken, ranch, cheese sandwich? No, God, don't throw it away, Carl. I don't want it. Am I choking on it? The score. Easy to make. 10 out of 10. Flavor. 1 out of 10. The only thing that fills you up is the bread. It's because it's essentially 2 slices of bread. False advertising. 7 out of 10. It's not really a sandwich, is it? That's the type of sandwich that whenever that sandwich finds any little bit of moisture, it clings to it. Because all of it is stuck in my gums and in my teeth right now. The sandwich needs to go down. Either in the garbage or down your esophagus. It needs to get off the plate. It needs to get out of my life. It needs to get out of my freezer. I don't ever want to see that back in the freezer ever again. Mama, oh, I thought you ate it so you liked it. No! I took one for the team! Mama snapped. I took one for the team! Our next freezer option is a drink, okay? It's Daly's Pina Colada Frozen Cocktail. Ooh! Now, that sounds actually good. Freeze, squeeze, and enjoy. It's expired in 2019. Gluten-free, contains alcohol. Why do we have these? There's a couple of these sitting in the smaller freezer door. My mom's not a big drinker. So sometimes my mom will get these like frozen cocktail, maybe like a Seagram's, the wine cooler bottles. Sometimes she'll get those and she'll drink them when we go out on like a boat on a hot summer day. Or I sometimes pick these up from the store if I'm going like river tubing. Keep them really cold on like a really hot day, 90 degrees. Me floating down a tube, down a river, just drunk, listening to tunes, 1 foot in the water, half a beer falling on my chest. Sometimes I'll drink these because it's like a nice little refreshing slushy. But we've had these in the freezer door for so many years. No one's claiming them. No one's drinking them. No one's ripping these open at -9 degrees during a snowstorm. It's just one big, like, ice chunk. If you like pina coladas. Oh, it's so frozen that, like, the ice chunk gets fatter right here because the package gets fatter, and I can't get it to go up. Think of, like, an icicle outside dripping off your roof. Think of you spraying it with sunscreen and then just licking on it. Like a gerbil on his little water tube setup. Is there any juice in it at all? Oh, my God. All the syrup is sitting at the bottom. It tastes very pineapple-y. I'm thinking it's warm. I'm sitting on a tube. It's 90 degrees. Sweat's pooling on my brow. Oh my gosh, I wish I had a slushie. A nice, cold, adult frozen cocktail. No, yummy. Tastes a little chemically. I think it's just been sitting around too long. Contains 1% fruit juice. What the hell's the rest, Dailies? All alcohol? Freeze for about 8 hours. How about 8 years? Oh, I'm hammered. You're just outside sucking on alcoholic ice. I'm feeling it. These are fine. I don't know if this has gone bad since it tastes so syrupy. I just think it needs to be like thawed out and then maybe refrozen. Or also, these are like $2.50. Just buy a new one. They have like a Bahama Mama one that's pretty good. Hailing from the second shelf, the Idahoan microwavable 4-cheese mashed potatoes. That's a mouthful. Idahoan microwavable 4-cheese mashed potatoes. Have you tried them? Have you had them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Made with 100% real Idaho potatoes, perfectly blended with cheddar, blue, Romano, and Parmesan cheeses. This little single serving cup, I kid you not, sits at the forefront of that pantry, almost eye level. I see it every single time I go in there. Oh, this expired in May 27th of 2022. I have passed over this cup of mashed potatoes for 2 years. I think my mom bought them on a whim, being like, oh, maybe someone for lunch will have a side serving of mashed potatoes. I have never once been like really craving some mashed potatoes. I might as well make just like a single serving. So that's why we've passed over these. These are 2 years old. All you do is add water and then microwave it for a minute and a half. Very easy. These are very clumpy, chunky mashed potatoes. I like mine a little more smooth, whipped. Peaks of mashed potatoes. I think the only thing that'll save this is that it is 4 cheeses, and I love cheese. Okay, so let's try this. It's steaming. Yeah. It's a little clumpy, but it's not bad. If you just like close your eyes and you don't see how it's all crumbly and falling apart. It's not bad. It could use a little more flavor besides the cheeses, like a spice or something. I know for a fact that we've had this brand, this Idahoan potatoes. I know my mom buys like the bigger batches of it. Now that I'm thinking about it, if I was like needed lunch on the go and I didn't want rice or pasta, this not bad. Pop yourself some single serve mashed potatoes. And they probably have other flavors. They probably have like an onion and chive. Ooh, that sounds good. Ease of making, 10 out of 10. Couldn't have been more simple. Appearance, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because I love a good whipped smooth potato. Taste, I give it like an 8 out of 10. The idea of it being a side dish, I give it like a 9 out of 10. It's actually a pretty good, just spilled some. Give it like a 9 out of 10. It's actually a pretty good idea for a side. Who doesn't like potatoes? I love potatoes in all forms. Mashed, frozen, fried, thawed, crinkle cut, steak fries, little red potatoes. Oh, so good. Next frozen item on the docket. This one's not expired. It doesn't expire for a year, but no one's been reaching for it. No one's been eating it, and I think because everyone's confused how it got here. This is Van Leeuwen's. Van Leeuwen's. This is Summer Peach Crisp French ice cream, limited edition. Van Leeuwen's. As far as ice cream around here in this household, we're doing the Ben & Jerry's. We're doing like the little, not like the tubs, but like the little bigger buckets of, I don't know, there's like a Moose Tracks thing my mom buys, or we do like chocolate chip cookie dough. Basic flavors, you know, tried and true companies. This is left over from, I hosted a Friendsgiving this year. Everyone came over, we had way too much food, and then Mia, you guys know Mia, friend of the channel. My friend Mia ran to her house and then got this ice cream. So there's a red velvet one, which I have had a little bit of. And then there's this peach one, which I thought I had taken a couple bites out of, but when you open it up, it's sealed shut. But she bought these ice creams, so I think no one's touched it in the house because no one knows how it got there. They probably think I bought this ice cream for myself. That's why no one else has, you know, put their grubby little spoons in it. I just haven't tried it. I just keep passing it over. Look at that. I've also never tried peach flavored ice cream. The only like fruit flavored ice cream I eat is either Cherry Garcia. Love Cherry Garcia by Ben & Jerry's. One of the top, one of the best. Or like a strawberry ice cream mixed into like a Neapolitan. What? Let me know if you guys have ever heard of this brand. I've never even seen this brand, heard of this brand. It's actually really good. Kind of tastes like there's like graham cracker bits in here. Why French ice cream? Very good question. I definitely have that question. Eggs, plenty of them. Turns out when you use twice as many egg yolks as standard ice cream, you have to call it French ice cream. Did y'all know that? Fine by us. Because whether it's using more eggs or having to legally change our name, we'll do anything to make the best ice cream on earth. Because a life without anything good is bad. Whoever wrote this, they're funny as hell. There's tapioca syrup in here. Tapioca vanilla extract. Ever since 2008, when Van Leeuwen, oh, there's a U in there. I didn't even see the U. Leeuwen was born out of a yellow truck on the streets of New York City. We've been making good ice cream from good ingredients. Picture this, if you will. A hot summer day. The sun is shining. You're sweating. Ew. Someone hands you a scoop of ice cream with peaches and a gluten-free oat crumble. Clutch move. Whoever works on their marketing team, whoever writes these is very funny. Thank you for including, unlike the Little Debbie's ice cream when I did the Never Have I Ever Little Debbie's, thank you for including like what it should taste like. A gluten-free oat crumble. That's exactly what it is. I was gonna say a little bit of like a graham cracker crust type of thing. This is very good. If you guys ever see this brand, maybe want to try it. And it is like incredibly smooth. Is that what the eggs do? I feel like you could do this with like strawberries or blueberries. Ooh, like a blueberry with an oat crumble in here would be good. Unlike everything else so far, this is going back in the freezer and nobody better touch this because this is mine now. Thank you, Mia, for leaving this at my house. Look at that. All right, I think that'll do it. I also... You should never inhale these straight out. The more that it melts, some kind of chemical process is happening here. Damn! If you're ever drunk on these, just take one good whiff of it. It'll sober you right back up. Jeez Louise. I hope you liked today's video. I know it's a little different from the Never Have I Ever series, but you gotta roll with the punches in the weather. And I mean, honestly, it's not a bad idea to go clean out your pantry and your freezer every so often, because I know there's stuff in there that you're avoiding eating. Why did you buy it? Why did you purchase it? You put down money for goods and you got it and you put it in there and then you've been avoiding it ever since. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if you want to do your own version of this video, you know, record yourself, send it to your family and friends in the group chat. Look, me, I'm eating the 95-year-old expired SpaghettiOs. Look at me. Do that. Just don't send them the follow-up video of you on the toilet. If it's expired, we will retire to the couch and then to the toilet. You're gonna need the whole day for this. What's up? It's my pantry. It's in my closet. This is where we keep the food. No money in here. No money in that safe that's in there. So I put my hands up, playing my song, nodding my head like yeah, drinking my pina colada like yeah.